Hey guys! Today we're recapping the anime Tomodachi game. The anime starts with Yuichi working hard so as to gather the money to join his 4 friends on an upcoming school's trip. He happens to be the one with money problems among his friends, but would soon find out otherwise. The teacher later walks into the class and tells them the total money contributed has been stolen. Who stole the money? Everyone wonders, and some suspect Yuichi, since he is the poorest in the class. The next day, 2 of Yuichi's friends stop coming to school for unknown reasons. Everyone then begins to think that they stole the money. On another day, Yuichi and his 4 friends receive a letter each asking that they meet. They later discover it was a setup and they get abducted. They find themselves in a strange room, and a mysterious mascot named Minabu walks into the room to introduce them to the Tomodachi game. He tells them they all have a pending debt of 20 million yen, which would be cleared if they win the game. Yuichi is surprised to find out that one of them actually stole the money to register them in the game so as to clear a huge debt. Yuichi, as a boy, received 2 different ideologies from his parents. His father taught him that money is the most important thing in the world, while his mother taught him that friends are. He decides to follow his mother's advice and plays the game. The first game starts. They are given questions, and if they choose an answer, all of them have to agree. But if anyone chooses otherwise, the minority choice is favored. Another rule would be that if any rule is broken, each person's debt doubles and the person with the highest debt would bear everyone else's debt. Then the game starts. Yuichi would soon begin to doubt his friends when he discovers that they are missing the obviously simple questions. It means someone is deliberately choosing otherwise so as to favor himself. They miss the first 4 questions, and on the last question, Yuichi deliberately talks, breaking a rule. Yuichi continues to talk as they play the game, and he tries to trick others into talking too, but they don't. They eventually choose a yes, and they are able to clear the game to the next one. After the first game, Yuichi asks his friends what their current debt balance is, and they say it's 3.6 million, as they have just been able to clear 400,000 yen. But Yuichi doesn't believe and stays behind to find out the truth by checking the question cards each one reads. He is disappointed to find out that the texts have all been erased, so Aragi comes back to him to ask him about who he suspects, and he tells her he suspected her. So Aragi also tells him she initially suspected him, but she apologizes and goes on to tell him she lied about her debt balance. She later tells him that she likes him. They both decide to cooperate to win the game together. The second game, called Sudoroku Game, later begins, and each of them is expected to badmouth one another on a card to eventually win the game. The first person to reach the end is the loser and will bear all the debt acquired during the process of the game. They initially plan not to fill the cards so that no one loses, but that would soon change as each one starts to suffer the consequences of that decision. Their debts begin to increase. This would be the beginning of their rivalry. They start to expose secrets about one another that would cause fights between them as they hear unbelievable things. A secret about Kakurogi going on compensated dates when she was in junior school gets revealed. She is shocked and begins to cry terribly. Shiba begins to make fun of her, and Tenji hits him on the face. Kakurogi suspects that it was So Aragi who badmouthed since she was the only one who knew her secret, but So Aragi denies that she didn't. Kakurogi tells Yuichi that it all happened because she needed money as she was always being bullied. Yuichi believes her and tells her he will never leave her. It seems that he also has an ugly past. However, the suspicion still remains that someone among them wants to destroy their friendship. Then there's a flashback to the day that the whole event happened, when the school's trip fund was stolen. They were in class, and the teacher sent for So Aragi. She locked the money in her locker, hoping that it wouldn't take long before she returns. But before she returns, Tenji goes to steal the money without anyone noticing him. It happens that Tenji has always been stalking So Aragi and monitoring her. He even put a bug on her, and that's how he was able to know where she kept the spare key to the locker. That's how he was able to know all her secrets and her conversations with people. Tenji wants to break her relationships with the others so that when she is alone, he can take advantage of her loneliness. And that's the reason he stole the 2 million yen. Tenji is the traitor among them, and he thinks he knows all their secrets. But does he actually know all? Let's move to the 4th episode. Tenji continues to pretend that he is innocent. He has successfully destroyed Kakurogi's feelings towards So Aragi and plans on making So Aragi even hate Kakurogi too. Tenji suggests an idea to Sowaragi that Kakurogi might have revealed the secret by herself, and blamed it on her so as to gain the attention and pity of Yuichi. He continues to sow seeds of discord in Sowaragi's heart and then positions himself as a confidant to her. He tells her he will never leave her. The game resumes and Tenji goes into the private room first to fill the card. While in the private room, he thinks about what next he would write. He thinks of writing something that will further fan the fame of the already growing discord between Kakurogi and Sowaragi. But then he writes something about himself so as to rid the suspicions that may arise from him being the only one yet to badmouth. He comes out of the private room to see Yuichi slapping Sowaragi for telling Kakurogi that it was her who revealed the secret by herself, just as Tenji had suggested to her. The rivalry between them has now increased. Tenji is happy to see this happening sooner than he expected. The game gets a point that Sowaragi is asked to nominate someone among her friends that the system will check to know if he or she is hiding something. Manabu then suggests to Sowaragi that she should pick her new ally Tenji to really know if he is hiding something or not. Tenji gets afraid that the truth about him might be revealed, but Shiba would then volunteer himself. The system reveals Shiba's dad is a scumbag, but Tenji then despitefully turns everything on Shiba and makes others separate themselves from him. The game continues and Tenji chooses to fill an empty card since he has caused a lot of issues already and doesn't want to be suspected. But Yuichi writes that Shiba has killed someone before, shocking Tenji as suspicions may begin to rise concerning him. Yuichi continues his mission of finding the traitor among them. As things progress forward, Shiba denies ever killing someone but is unable to get everyone to believe him. Yuichi then walks up to him and tells him that he believes him. He then says that there's a traitor among them who is deliberately trying to destroy their friendship. He tells them he has figured out who it is and says that he has found a strategy to win the game. They continue the game, and after a while, Sowaragi is now ahead of everyone and is about to be the loser. It seems that the game is over and Tenji has been able to beat Yuichi's wit, but Yuichi suddenly says he has just found a way to make the traitor expose themselves, based on the rule that any lying attracts a penalty, which is a forceful move to the end. He goes on to say that each person should say why they applied to play the Tomodachi game. The system will detect the truth, and the statement will only be true for just one person, which is the traitor. Yuichi would then tell Tenji to go in first to prove that he really supports Sowaragi. Tenji is screwed, as it is definitely certain he will be caught. He decides that he will admit and comes up with a conspiracy theory that someone blackmailed him into doing it. After they all finish filling the cards, it is discovered that only Tenji wrote the statement, while others filled an empty card. Tenji was tricked, and it's now obvious that he is the traitor. Yuichi had been setting traps in order to catch the traitor long since when the second period of the game started. Yuichi's plans worked after all and none ever failed. They were all just part of the master plan. Yuichi begins to explain how he planned everything. It appears that he has actually been the one in control of all that has been happening, unlike what Tenji thought. He had been working secretly with Sowaragi and Kakurogi in finding out who the traitor was just after Manabu says that they continue the game. Yuichi would then reveal that he lied during the game, and Manabu would confirm and then clear him from the game as the rule states, making him the first to reach the end. Only he will be playing the next game. Yuichi also reveals that he has killed people before, which shocks everyone, as Yuichi makes the step to go to the next game. Tenji doesn't allow Yuichi to go alone, so he also reveals that he lied during the game. He goes on to say that the reason he wanted to destroy their friendship is because he liked Yuichi and wanted to keep him all to himself, and he walks to kiss Yuichi to prove it. Tenji apparently has a mission. This is not his first Tomodachi game after all. So that's a recap of the first 6 episodes of the Tomodachi game. Stay tuned for part 2. Also, what do you think of how all these events have unfolded? Leave your comments below and make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. See you later, Anime Gang.